Hey, how y'all doing? Hope you're having a fantastic afternoon. I've got something a bit different today because over the last week, as I've been putting out new videos in the new season, I've had a number of people comment on my Highlander fashion, gotten some compliments on my current kind of different Highlander look that I've been doing, but then also just a lot of questions as if I'll make a fashion video or something showing off all the Highlander armor, different Highlander combinations that I like and stuff like that. So I figured why not? I did have a couple of videos about this previously, but they're like 2 years old or so, and I haven't done one in a really long time. Last time I did it, I think I was on Xbox on a totally different Rep 70 account. So I thought, yeah, let's go ahead and make another one. I'll show you the kind of three different combinations that I have right now, which are basically the same ones that I've had for a really long time with some modifications I've done over time. And they all kind of share a lot of common elements. There's honestly not a ton of Highlander armor that I really like, but I'm going to show you what I do. And then I'll show you different variations of it that I've done over time, because that's a big thing, is I kind of just have certain templates that I use, and then I just change little details to make kind of bigger changes overall. So anyway, let's get into it. I'll show you what the first one looks like here. Alright, so first we have, this is literally what I have going on right now, which is basically a toned down version of my classic Fiend look that I've had for the entire time I've done YouTube for like 3.5 years now. So I took off a lot of the more edgy details and kind of brought it down to base. So these are the different armor pieces that I'm using. I like it being fairly toned down. It's not super flashy, but it still definitely has some fantasy edge to it. I was using the blade for that set a while ago, but I switched it off because it was just kind of too edgy. I'll show you real quick. I'm not going to do this for every set, but just here's my perks that I'm running. It's not really fashion, but it is related. I am also using the Celtic knot, kind of the Celtic weave on the embossing on all of my arm pieces. That literally won't change for pretty much any of these different armors that I'm showing. And then on my standard, I have nothing to keep it nice and bare. I'm using the Winterwoods color. So the big thing here, and that's why I was showing that I was using a paint pattern earlier, is that if two of the colors on a 3-color palette are the same, then you're going to have certain paint patterns that don't show any variation at all and are actually just displaying as a solid color. So I'm using that with the paint patterns I was using to create just solid white effectively. Real quick, I'll also show you my feats. You can switch Fire Breath or Fire Flask and Spear Storm, just depending on which map you're at. These are the executions I'm using right now. Not really a big deal, but they're kind of the classics, and I've liked them for a long time. Gotta have one sort of show-off beat-down execution, so this is the one that I prefer. And then I actually run No Mercy because it's got a high heal and it's got a pretty short time to kill. The actual execution isn't that short, but the time to kill is, and the health is good. Here are some of the just classic Highlander executions that fit his sort of personality and moveset. So the Spear Storm is pretty fun and obvious. This one I just like a lot. And then here's a good classic that I haven't had room for on my execution bar in a while. Bone Crusher is also considered one of Highlander's most optimal executions from a health and kill time perspective. And then Deceitful Concision, when that came out, is just kind of the best from a kill time. Here are my emotes, not that it really matters. And as you can see, I'm running the Salty Lamb because people have been saying that my execution kind of looks like a shepherd. The Belligerent Lamb definitely adds to that, and I've got it toned down on the kind of edgy warrior details, so it sort of fits. I probably won't keep the lamb forever, but I definitely like it, and you could certainly build up a set with maybe some green that leads into the shepherd pasture look quite a bit more. But so here I'll just show some variations of how to take it maybe a couple steps closer into the Fiend direction, where I've had most of my fashion for years and years, with kind of leaning away from the shepherd thing and into the warrior vibes. I go ahead and I'll pull off the paint patterns and actually show the material on my arms and match the red, tone down the white. I definitely like the contrast a lot more. From here, another thing you can do is throw on the Karnan arms, the big spikes. That is definitely getting more back towards classic Fiend. I had basically this exact look for probably like 100 and some odd videos I've had. I did it for a really long time, especially back on my Xbox account. Looks really good with all the fire effects. So like here's smoke, here's Surge of Devastation, which I used for basically ever. Once again, literally hundreds of videos. I've had these exact combinations here. Also looks really good with glowing eyes, all the other sort of fire effects, Hell's Gate. Yeah, I like to run all that. Alright, and here is kind of final iteration. I don't really run this one because I think it's going a little far. It's a little too much for me. But if you throw on these big spiky horns, which are literally the only other ornament that I like for Highlander, throw on a fire effect, boom, peak ultimate Fiend. One thing I don't really like is that Surge's Devastation looks weird with it because the horns clash. That's kind of another reason I stopped running it. So we've got now my Blue Lander. My Blue Lander is definitely a crowd favorite. This one is much less edgy and more kind of down to earth, even than the like sort of toned down current non-edgy Fiend look. But this one I really like. Got the basic Highlander sword going on. Still doing the same like Celtic weave on the arms. But here's what we've got for our actual armor distribution. I'm running the Defender blade on this to get just, once again, a really basic look for the weapon too. Here I'm just showing that I've got, once again, I've got the weave going, same exact arms and setup here. I didn't really change anything. There's not really any other way that I like having the arms more on any of mine, so this, yeah, you're gonna have to get used to that. Yeah, this one, just the way that the blue works, I like having it on applied to every single armor piece. And this is the color I'm using. Pretty subtle. All the other ones are a little garish, so this one provides a much more like realistic color palette, I think. I like to use all the blue effects, so that definitely leans towards the vibrant blue elk. Big fan of that. There are definitely lots of other ones that you can run, though. I just don't have all the steel in the world on this account yet. But Hypnotic Eye I really like. this one. There's a number that you can all run to get super cool looking blue effects. I feel like there's between the fire stuff and the for my other set, and then all the icy kind of blue stuff, you can get a lot of really cool combinations out. I sometimes like to use a different effect for each execution as long as they all run along the same theme. Alright, so here's another variation of the same kind of base set. This is a nod to my buddy Guard in Charge. This is, I kind of think of this as his helmet and chest piece as well. But I also think that these create kind of a nice understated classic Highlander look without too much edge. Alright, so third kind of general set template is this one is, I've always just thought of this as my rep 70 lander because I use it to show off my like high rep effects and stuff. But I've got the exact same thing going on here once again with the weaves on the arms like always, but I am running the classic Highlander horns. Black for the material. Once again, no usage on the chest because it looks weird. And then plain black on the cape. And I'm doing the same thing here where I have two colors are the same on a palette, in this case black, and then I run a pattern to make it a whole color with no pattern. This is the sword combination I'm using. I like using different pieces from different swords, but that all have the perfect matching colors to look cohesive. So I happen to like this sword quite a lot. These are the armor pieces. And here, yeah, so I'm just showing that I use my sulfuric sparks quite a bit. The black is a nice contrast and it just looks crisp. All right, so here's another variation of that. I actually did a video with this a while ago. I'll link that in the description, but it was a really great video. It was quite entertaining. But this is my Santa Lander, which is basically the same as the last set, just with a couple of color changes and some effects and stuff. So I did swap it to, of course, the old white man beard. Old man white beard. And then the salamander blade, same exact thing we had going on before, because the elk is kind of reindeer-ish and it fits. I like it much more than the like actual Christmas swords. Those are lame. And then we've got this for the color and materials. Here for the executions, I'm using the more or less most of the same exact executions of what I have and everything, but then of course you gotta have the candy cane beat down, and then with the Sandbringer hat on all of them, of course. This was a really fun video when I used this customization. I liked a lot, so I might actually whip this out more in the future because it's just fun and it works. I like this towel free roam effect because, I don't know, I feel like it fits somehow. Here are some of the potential signatures that you could use if you wanted. I feel like this one really fits the theme just too well. It's perfect. All right, so then here's the final variation. One more variation on that same set, basically. Um, Going back to kind of some classics here. Still using the weave, as always. So here's the armor that has this chainmail. And then I've swapped over to the Milezan helm because with this helmet combo, with the elk antlers, you've got basically a full helm. It's like the only combination that actually creates like full head protection for him. So I feel like it's one of the better warrior looks. I'm using light materials just to create kind of a, I don't know, high quality sort of look to his armor. Doing the two color thing again. And then I think that this set looks best with without any effects on your executions. All right, so yeah, I know that was definitely a different kind of video, but if you did enjoy, please leave a like and possibly subscribe if you have not already. It helps me out a ton. I'm really trying to make a strong push here with YouTube right now, put out a bunch of videos for you guys. So I'm enjoying things quite a lot right now, but definitely let me know if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.